think for us it's weird looking at how things have evolved. There's no way we'd imagine that starting out, 20 years ago, that we would end up in a position to have helped and influenced and hopefully inspired some people along the way. I think one of the things we look at now is that we always started out and said we wanted to be different. We always started out and said we wanted to challenge the status quo in Irish hairdressing. And we always started out and said we're going to break boundaries and break barriers. And what we didn't expect along the way was to be allowed to be involved into the lives of so many amazing people. And they all have been amazing. And to sort of have the roller coaster of their life intertwined with our lives, to sort of go from everything from life to death, to winning to losing, to crying to laughing, and to think we've done all that in that period of time, and to create an environment that people felt safe and wanted, and people were happy in, for me has been the journey.
For me, because I had worked previously with David and Susan, it wasn't so much an interview as a meeting in the Oval Bar. So it was myself and Lindsay, Amy, I think Maria might have been there, Teresa, a couple of other girls that we had worked with previously. We met in the Oval Bar, and it was the only time that I had ever seen David Campbell a bit dishevelled because of the pressure that was under them to get the shop up and running at the time. But I remember we were discussing what the shop was called, and when he said House of Colour, he was explaining that House of Colour meant that we were going to be doing all these new techniques and all this, just basically all the new stuff that was going to happen. Even the start at 10 o'clock, that was really cool. We were like, whoa, it was brilliant.
So my interview, I kind of was familiar with the group because I was doing a bit of hair modelling for Kim. And I asked Kim, was there any jobs going? And she obviously said, yeah, no bother. So I went for a very casual chat with David over coffee in Arnott's, and I got the job on the spot. 17 years later, I'm still here.
My first interview was with David Campbell, and I was very nervous because this was my dream job, and I needed to work with House of Colour. There was no in between, so a lot relied on that day.
I remember my interview being in Arnott's with David, and I thought it went really well. Till later on in the years, I was told I lied through the whole interview. And then my fourth day was in Middle Abbey Street with Catherine, and she looked after me, and everyone was lovely.
All interviews now take place in head office in Abbey Street. Well, mine took place in the Hotel Abbey on Abbey Street. And knowing Dave and Susan from the age of 14, I didn't really feel that nervous. I don't know what way I felt, but I did come with a CV. And when I pulled it out, David just said, put that away. So I knew I had the job straight away.
I can remember getting a phone call from Mary Riley, and she was telling us that they were taking on part-time staff, and would I be interested in applying for the job? And I said yeah, but she had said to me, don't let me down. So I made sure I didn't let her down, and I hope I still haven't let her down 12 years on. And then I can remember being in the office then with David, and all I can remember is from the interview was just saying yeah, and just remember him sitting there with a Diet Coke in front of him. That's all I can remember.
I remember the smell of the new paint, the newness of the place, and I also remember Paul constantly telling us to smile all the time. At one point he actually turned his back to us and he was saying, can you hear me smile? And we were like, oh my God, you can actually hear someone smile. So he was telling us to, when we were on the phone, to constantly smile down the phone, and it was great. It was great.
I remember being very nervous, obviously, because it was a whole new experience for us. Should have been. So that, I remember the feeling of being quite nervous, but I remember the feeling of being very relaxed because it was David and Paul, and it was just, everything was very relaxed to what I was used to. I was used to a lot of pressure where I used to work. So it was very relaxed and fun.
Oh, I loved it from the minute one. As much as I didn't want the phone to ring and I didn't want to deal with people or face to face, I wasn't used to any of that. That was it, 2 feet straight in. I wanted, because I remember talking to Paul and saying, I love this, I'd love to do hair. And I remember him saying to me, well, stay with us now and I'll teach you.
Walking into Abbey Street, I remember I was a 30-year-old assistant, so you don't forget that. Taking orders and advice off the likes of Tanya and stuff, you know, where they're telling you what to do, and yeah, just like a duck out of water. But it was the buzz of it, you know. Abbey Street was hopping, and sometimes you stand back and go, we're part of something special here.
I remember I was so early, I was standing outside the shop, I think, for about 20 minutes waiting for someone to come and open it. My hair was like a triangle because I had so much hair and I tried to blow dry it myself coming in. So I was really nervous, but after like 15 minutes, all the girls were just so welcoming. I just felt at home.
I made friends with some of the assistants and we were chatting, and Sarah Jane and she added me on Facebook, and she obviously read then it was my birthday. And lunchtime then they said to me, Shauna, can you go downstairs and get some towels? And when I came back up onto the floor, all the lights were off, and Mary came at me with a cake and they all started singing happy birthday, and I just welled up. I couldn't believe it, my first day, and they just made such a big deal, and it was great.
My first day in Abbey Street, I remember all the girls were gorgeous. I was like, oh, I felt lost in the salon. I felt real small compared to everyone. And I just remember Mary handing me a sweeping brush and saying, keep the hair up, don't let the hair touch the floor. And I was like, oh God, what does she mean? How am I going to not let the hair touch the floor? Like, how am I going to do this with a sweeping brush? And all the girls just made me feel so welcome, and I just knew that I wanted to work here. Like.
I suppose for me the hardest part was opening Charlestown just as the recession hit. It was that time where guests weren't coming into the salon to spend, and people weren't coming in to treat themselves, and obviously we were trying to build a business and a client base, and I suppose through hard work and determination we got there eventually, and we've a really busy salon now. But at the time it would have been a really hard point in my career.
When I was qualifying, and the fail to prepare, prepare to fail really is what it says, what it means. I didn't really prepare that much for my exams. I thought I had this in the bag and it fell through and I had to repeat them. So I think that to me was the hardest point in my career. I think it just gave me that little knock. But I needed it to wake me up.
I think one of the lows would have been losing Carla in the group. I think for the whole group it was very upsetting. It was just to see someone that young lose their life with such a big personality and beautiful girl. It was just very sad.
The loss of Carla was a big one for me. It shook me a lot.
Well, obviously my low would be when Paul died. I mean, that was a very low point for us because, you know, we were only a couple of weeks open, and it was just, yeah, it was just really devastating for all of us. Like, I mean, I don't think we really knew what to do or kind of, you know, but I have to say David was great and kind of just came in and just picked us all back up again, and we just kind of said, yeah, do you know what, let's do this for him.
Over the 20 years, definitely the lowest points have been obviously Paul and Carla for me, definitely. And I mean, you don't get any lower than that. It was really hard, I think, for the group, and even now, like, you think what she might have done, or, you know, or where we'd be, or, you know, just, I suppose you ask questions of what might have been, and yeah, so that was a really low time for the group as a whole, for myself personally and for people personally. But we've been to funerals, but we've also we've stepped beside each other at funerals, you know. We've also been to weddings, we've been to birthdays, we've been to christenings, we've been to celebrations. So you tend to, I suppose, shift the focus on that, and that's what we do. That's what we do as a group, I suppose.
The proudest moment in my career would have been given the opportunity by David and Susan opening up House Colour Charlestown with my friend Lauren. When you see the salon finished, you're just so proud, so grateful, and then all of a sudden you have a team in it, and that makes makes you more proud because they're working so hard and we're part of it and they're part of our team then. So it really becomes House of Colour Charlestown.
Proudest competition memory would have to be winning the IHF. I was 6 months hairdressing. Totally didn't expect to be placed even. Model was 6 foot, page boy, red, really vibrant panels going through her hair, and to be called and placed and to be first was just unbelievable.
So going to the House of Colour Awards and getting Salon Coordinator of the Year, it was a massive achievement for me. I never thought that I was going to get it. And then a couple of weeks later being told that I was assistant manager within a year was incredible. It was really, really good.
Well, I would have worked with Hall before because he would have trained me. So I was kind of used to him, but I was just in a training aspect. It was never really in a working environment with him. So it was totally different to what I was going to expect. It was quite fun, like, we did have a bit of crack with him, like, and he was so blunt. But yeah, you know, you'd laugh at him, but he'd be being serious, but you thought he was messing, do you know what I mean? Because he was just that type of fella, like, do you know?
Proudest moment competition-wise would definitely have to be talent spotting. I mean, that was just the start of everything for me, for the whole group to get behind me, to come to England, to cheer me on. I will never forget them calling my name out in the Dorchester, and the whole House of Colour, who, you know, paid their own money to come over to support me, cheered me on. They lifted the place, and it was just a night I will never forget.
I went in for the L'Oreal Colour Trophy, had that girl with the long copper hair, did a surf wave load on her, big fringe and all. And I remember going to the competition. I didn't win now, but I got through to the final. And standing beside Michael, I think it would have been Michael Leon, is that his name? Beside it, I was just like, what am I even doing here? I was saying to myself, what am I doing here? Honest to God, I was literally only qualified. That would have been a real proud moment.
Would definitely have to be on the competition floor at the World Television Final. I remember just looking around, we were in a little pen and seeing everybody looking in, and in the corner of my eye I copped Susan, David and Catherine staring over, and they were just had little island flags and they were waving, and I just felt like I was at home. And before I even came off the floor, I had a message on my phone from Susan saying, no matter the results today, we are so, so proud of you. And it was just everything to me.
My proudest competition memory is actually two. It was in 2010. We won everything in IHF that year. And then we also went on to win the Men's Image Award for L'Oreal Colour Trophy, the Ladies Image Award for the L'Oreal Colour Trophy, and overall win the L'Oreal Colour Trophy. That's my proudest moment I can remember of the competition with the group.
Teaching would have been one of my proudest moments as well. Just watching the girls grow and stuff like that, and like achieving what they wanted to achieve and doing their graduates exams and stuff like that. They would have been kind of my proudest moments.
Definitely would have to be working with a group and being really listened to. I mean, any time that, you know, I turn up to any events or shows or even work with the assistants, you know, they listen to me, your voice is heard. And I think with House of Colour being such a huge company, that's the ultimate compliment.
Was when we entered the L'Oreal Colour Trophy. That was such a huge thing for us to get into the final, never mind then to go and win the Image Award was huge that night. And you're so overwhelmed because there's so many people in the room, but it just makes you so proud to what you've achieved, and to win it was an amazing feeling.
Personally for me, has to be the day I got the phone call from Generation Now. I knew I wanted it from the minute I heard about Generation Now, and I'll never forget it. I picked up the phone straight to David Campbell and I rang him and I said, got it. And I just cried in the middle of a park.
My proudest moment would be getting my degree in the Master Colour Expert programme. I was delighted with that because I really didn't think I'd be able to do it, and then I'd done it. So that was definitely my proudest moment.
Have to probably say, I mean, there's been so many along the way, and like that we've grown so much in the 20 years that we've been together. But the memory I would have probably would be the L'Oreal Colour Trophy, because it was the first. And you'll never ever get that feeling back again. I mean, as you go on, they're great, but that first win is just unbelievable.
Probably my proudest moment in the salon would have been being with Charlestown and winning Salon of the Year 2 years in a row.
My proudest moment in my career to date would definitely have to be winning gold at UK and Ireland television final. I think I gave it absolutely everything. Dave and Susan helped me so much, the whole team, and I think after getting silver the year before, I just wanted it so much, and when my name was called out that night, that was it for me.
One of my proudest moments would be winning Gen Now. I entered it 3 times before I won it, so I was determined to win it, so it was like extra special when I won it the 3rd time.
Well, it would have to be the L'Oreal, wouldn't it? I mean, we were 4 months open. It was like your first, well, it was my first major competition. I mean, I know we done little trendsetter awards and stuff like that, but to be on like a scale with like all the hairdressers in Ireland, like, and then the night before prepping, like I think we were probably in the shop till probably 1 or 2 in the morning, and then just being there and just doing it, and it was just, yeah, and I mean, even at that stage we were just kind of going, sure, look, it's great to be part of it, like, you know. And then I remember us all sitting at the table, and your man got it wrong. He called the wrong table number, and we were like, sure, we didn't win it, well. And then he called out House of Colour, and we went, no, it's a mistake. David was like, don't get up, don't get up, don't get up, it's not us. And then the whole room just erupted into, I remember, an applause and a standing ovation, and then we were like, okay, we're after winning this. So yeah, stand on the stage, and it was just, everyone was crying. I remember my funniest moment of that actually was Miriam, me and Miriam were hugging, and Mary came running across the stage, and Miriam put her arms out and she ran past her. So that was very funny. But yeah, it was just amazing to win it.
Competition memory in the group was when Olive received her Icon Award, just sitting at the table with all the House of Colour members, seeing her own up there, and she's such an inspiration, and the way she came across and everything was so genuine with her. And I remember just looking around at Luke and thinking, like, this is our girl, like she works with us every single day.
Personally, getting an inductee into the Hall of Fame at the House of Colour Awards was, to me, you know, I'll always be there in history, and I'll always be around in the Hall of Fame with some great people.
The highs absolutely outweigh the lows. I mean, you get to live out your dreams, you get to travel the countries, you get to go wherever you want to go. I mean, I think hairdressing is one of the best kept secrets. You just need to work smart. You don't need to work hard, you need to work smart and really just develop your skill and just go with it.
Proudest moments would have been winning the business awards after like a long hard slog putting the whole entry together. We won it, and on the day I didn't actually think we were going to be called out, because obviously we'd been there previously and there was all the big boys were there, so we were only kind of new to it. But when they called us out, it was amazing, it was great. Standing on stage looking out at everybody, obviously all your peers, because it was huge. There was, I can't even remember how many tables, I just remember seeing a sea of people, and there was everybody from House of Colour were there. But it was great, just to be acknowledged for all the hard work and effort that had been put in, and still is actually being done.
That was when I got through to London with the Trend Vision, because it was just like so exciting, loved doing it. When I was in London, like on the floor doing my model, like that hype was brilliant for me. I thought that adrenaline feeling was deadly.
Getting the job in House of Colour, I don't even know whether you know this, but when I was only like 11, 12, 13, my ma used to come into a lady called Rita when I was that age as well. So I'd be in there and I'd be sitting in the reception, I'd be like, oh, look at this. I'd love to work here one day. Used to wear black clothes and all, thinking I worked there. When I was really young, I used to do this. I never told anybody this. Actually, that was getting the job here was like a huge highlight. I was delighted with myself.
Highs, I would have been winning the Paul Bunn Award, and the reason why that would have been a high for me is because I was an assistant for like part-time assistant for like 4 years in House of Colour. So I would have went to all the House of Colour awards and seen loads of people win them. I never thought I'd ever win anything like that. So that was a really, really proud moment, and that was a really big high in my career.
Never forget where you come from. Always remember anything's achievable. Fail to prepare, prepare to fail, and we are all superstars in Susan's eyes.
Learn from your mistakes. It's all right to make mistakes once you learn from it.
David always told us to have a goal. When you have a goal, you're focused, and when you're focused, you can put your mind to anything.
I do be asking the girls that might be only qualified, the girls that are not even qualified, like, where did you do that? They're learning stuff in their classes every week, and I'm taking her all with me. And they'd be like, is she you for real asking? I'm like, yeah, I'm asking, and I'm keeping that little diamond in my pocket. You know, they really are. The girls are I could come in next week now, there'll be something different. There'll be something different there, I'm sure of it this weekend, that wasn't there last weekend, and I don't know anything about it, so I get on that straight away.
The best advice from the day I walked into House of Colour to right here, right now, never give up. Keep on going, just never ever give up.
Fail to prepare, prepare to fail. I definitely think it's probably the motto, and it's so true.
David Campbell's advice to me, structure, and it's been the best advice, definitely.
It was always like, never give up, like yesterday is gone, like forget about that, like tomorrow's a different day, like always move on, move forward, like everything can always be fixed, basically.
Don't be afraid, like there's always been an open door policy. So go and ask, like there's no big bad wolves. You might get told no, you might get told maybe not that way, do it another way. But you don't know until you ask. So I would say work hard and good things will come. I mean, there's so many success stories come out of House of Colour. Why can't yours be one?
Start as you mean to go on, do everything, do your tick every box on your checklist and work hard.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Enjoy every moment and embrace it.
If they take the advice that they're given, because they're never given any bad advice, you know, people, we've all been through it. Look, you can see Olive took the advice, Sean has taken the advice, myself, Emma, all the senior people, we've taken the advice, been given, and I think, you know, we're showing that if you take it, it'll happen for you.
I'd say love every minute of it, even the lows. The next day is always a new day, the next hour is always a new hour. In hairdressing, everything changes within an hour.
The best advice I can give to anyone working in House of Colour is go for everything, embrace everything. We are a huge family here, and if you need help, you just have to ask and 20 people will come to your rescue.
Look, listen and learn. All along the way, just look, listen and learn. You won't be put wrong.
Work hard. My probably biggest thing, especially when I was educating the girls, like it's only 2 years of your life, like it's really 2 years and you're qualified for the rest of your life.
I just would say practice makes perfect. Keep practicing. The more you do it, the better you become.
Always follow your passion. Never give up. Like if something feels hard at the time you're doing it, it'll always get easier. Keep going. Never give up on it. Like, you know what I mean? Always go with what your heart thinks. Like.
The advice I'd give to the House of Colour team is you are in the best place possible. If you don't realise that you're at the top with the top, then that's something that you really need to step back and have a look at. There is no one in the industry, and I have travelled far and wide, who have what we have. We're special, we're unique, and I think that you need to jump on and grab it with both hands because you're in the best place possible.
It's been an amazing journey. I've enjoyed every bit of it. And with people, I'd like to thank everyone that had anything to do with House of Colour. People that have gone, we still look out for them to see how things are going for them. A lot of people have moved on, opened their own salons and have been very successful. And it's great to see that, and it's great to know that we've been a part of it, that we've shaped people in their lives, and they've moved on, but they're still part of House of Colour.
It's ingrained into you, and it's ingrained into your soul, and you know you'll carry a bit of it everywhere, and the thing you're carrying is good values, a sense of fun, a sense of enjoyment, passion, achievement, high standards, and most importantly the ability to laugh. I think when you think back on this, we've laughed more than we've cried, and we've enjoyed more than we've hated. And I think if we can all go through life with that, we'll be doing okay. So thanks.
Thank you.